Welcome. Welcome, fellow slaves. Welcome to tonight's transmission of Decoded. Another day, another wave of headlines, and somehow they just keep getting stranger. Yeah, gas prices climbing. Again. A tick bite that can rewire your body, turning something as basic as beef into a threat. And a story of the White House that raises one simple question. Are we watching reality or are we watching a script? Because like when the patterns start repeating, when the timing feels just a little too perfect, you don't ignore it, you decode it. So tonight we're connecting dots. We're asking all the questions you're not supposed to ask. And we're digging into what's real, what's noise, and what might be something else entirely. I'm Ezra, and this is Decoded.
Tonight, we're done pretending. Done pretending this is normal. Done pretending this makes sense. Done pretending we're being told the truth. Because we're not. We're being manipulated. Every headline, every crisis, every truth is filtered before it ever reaches you. Not to inform you, but to keep you inside the lines. Because if you ever stepped outside the narrative, even for a second, you'd start to see it. The patterns, the contradictions, the same voices telling you what to think, what to fear, and what to ignore. And it's always the same message, isn't it? You're the problem. You're the burden. You're the reason things are collapsing. Too many people, too much freedom in the United States. Meanwhile, the people writing that script, untouched. They don't fight the wars. They don't feel the shortages. They don't live with the consequences of the systems they created. But they expect you to. And they expect you to not question it. That's the deal. Stay distracted, stay divided, stay emotional, but never, ever connect the dots. Because the moment you do, their illusion breaks. And here's what they really don't want you realizing. You are not weak. You are not insignificant. You are not here by accident. You've just been told you are, over and over and over again, until you stopped arguing. Because a population that doubts itself never challenges anything. It complies. It consumes. It obeys. But tonight, we're not obeying. We're not accepting surface level answers. We're not trusting polished narratives. And we're not ignoring what's right in front of us. We're pulling it apart, layer by layer, lie by lie. Because something isn't right. It never has been. And deep down, you already knew it. Welcome to Decoded.
Welcome back. No, really. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to see everybody in the house. Everybody file in, find your seats. Tonight's going to be a good one. Ooh, tonight is going to be a doozy. So where are we going to start out? What's Ezra's favorite topic every day? Anybody in the chat who's a part of the Discord? If you're not, I am going to leave it in a pinned comment after the video. The Discord, I welcome everybody to come join the Discord. Every day I want to see gas prices. Every day. Because here we are. Here's the story. I'll catch you all up. I know you're all Americans. You all live it. We attack Iran. Within 2 weeks, gas goes up $1. Okay? And then all my fellow conservatives are, you fucking panicking? You're panicking? Trust them, bro. All right, I'll trust them. Gas goes down 20 cents, right? A couple weeks ago, gas went down 2 weeks. 20 cents. Told you, Ezra. Told you. You're panicking. You are not real. You're not a real conservative. You didn't trust them, bro. Went down 20 cents. I said, okay. That's your argument? We're still at a deficit of 80 cents You know, it went up a whole $1. So because it came down 20 cents, I'm supposed to start dick riding? I said I won't do it. I won't even start dick riding if we get back to $3 where we were. But 20 cents it comes down. Okay, so I held my lip. I didn't say too much other than, yeah, it went down 20 cents. We're still at an 80-cent differential here. What happened? What happened in the last week? Not only did it go back up to $4, where I'm at, it's $4.20 now. So what now? Trust him, bro? Trust him, bro. You don't get it. You don't know 12D chess, Ezra. What do you do for a living? You don't know global politics. What are you doing? You got to trust him. Really? I got to trust him. You want to hear? You want to hear something right out of the horse's mouth? Let's do this. Let's do this damn thing. Ready? You ready for this? Are you ready, folks?
The average price of a gallon of gas is now $4.30 in this country.
And you know what?
You hear that? It's all right. It's all right. Don't affect me none. It's all right. All my voters, though, fuck them. Fuck them. That's what I hear. I know I'm reading between the lines a little bit. I'm the best reader between the lines. Some say, Ezra, you're the best at it. You know how to read between the lines. One more time.
The price of a gallon of gas is now $4.30 in this country.
And you know,
Yeah, it's all right. But here, let's hear them out, okay? There's a reason for it, folks. There's a reason for it.
what? And we're not going to have a nuclear weapon in the hands of Iran.
But we're
See? Yeah, because Iran has been our biggest threat since forever. Because don't forget, Israel has told us for the last 40 years that Iran was 12 days away from a nuclear weapon. They ran that story over and over. They're 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon. They're saying it for 20 years. But then we go in, USA, big dick swinging, going into the Middle East, boom, boom, boom. They close the strait, gas goes up, Trump's, it's all right. You know what? But at least now, no nuclear weapons over there. We'll be all right. You guys Americans are just going to need to pay it. Here, listen to him.
The gas will go down as soon as the war's over.
The gas will go down as soon as the war's over. When have we known wars to be over? Quickly at that, too. When? We've got to trust them, bro. This war will be over in 24 hours. Let's hear him still. I'll shut up.
Drop like a rock. There's so much of it. It's all over the place, sitting all over the oceans.
Yeah, there's oil all over the place, baby. Don't relax. It's going to drop, and it's going to drop hard. Because we still haven't drilled yet for ourselves. But don't worry. He's got it all figured out. Okay, let him keep going.
Of the world, and it'll go down. But what won't happen is if Iran had a nuclear weapon and used it, then the whole world is a different place.
Oh, the whole world's a whole different place. If Iran just was only really those 14 days away from a nuke. That never happened over 20, 30 years of Israel saying they're 14 days away from a nuclear weapon. Yeah, well, that's the longest 14 days I've ever been alive for. Big Mike. Bro, this shit's got me. Me too, man. Me too. Been ranting like a lunatic all week. That's me in the Discord. I'm like, guys, where's your gas at? Where's your gas? I need to know. Good evening, Wedge. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, and this guy fucking telling us, did you just tune in or did you hear this one already, Big Mike? Because I'll start this fucker over. So rile me all back up again. Because of how nonchalant they are. This is my meaning of, like, people, we need to start waking up. we're fucking slaves. And I'm not mad at Trump. I'm not mad at conservatives. I'm not mad at Democrats. Okay? They're all the same lizard people who look at us and treat us like we're fucking gum on the bottom of their shoe. They do not give 2 ounces of a shit. 2 ounces, that's too much. They don't give a gram worth of a fuck what we go through day to day. They don't give a flying rat's monkey's ass. None of them. I don't want to hear from Democrats go, no, Bernie cares and Kamala Harris cares. No, the fuck they don't. Either does fucking Ted Cruz or Mitch McConnell or this fucking guy. Everybody got fucking duped on this one because everybody thought they were going to get Trump 2.0 like his first go around. $2 gas, boy, the economy, the GDP growth was off. This motherfucker was breaking records, GDP growth, and it showed. The value of our dollar was more. Gas was $2 fucking dollars. You could fill up 2 grocery carts for $300. Now it's this. Now it's this.
Price of a gallon of gas is now $4.30
All right,
in
yeah.
this country.
Yeah,
you know
no. Now it's all right. No, it's all right. It's all right. I did, Big Mike. I did. You know what? Let me pop this up here because it's boom. I did. I got it going. I DM'd you on Twitter the invites to both. I made one for Bears and I made one for this show here. But yeah, no, Trump. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. It's fine. There's oil all over the fucking place. But apparently the oil that's going through the Strait of Hormuz is more important. So, and it's affecting our gas prices. And then when our gas goes up, again, let's not be silly about this. We all know how this works. Gas goes up, and so do all of our goods. Because that's just the way it goes. Because don't forget, we're the slaves, okay? And these big food corporations who have to ship their bread and their chicken and their eggs and their cereals and their everything, they're not paying the difference. They never pay the difference. Again, I've said it before. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. You would think in a perfect utopian world, like if Ezra, say I owned a food company and I knew how rough the economy was, I know how rough Americans got it now, I would say, you know what, I'll eat this. I trust the president. I trust what he says. The gas prices, they'll come down, and they're going to come down fast. So in the meantime, I'll cover the cost of the more expensive diesel to get your goods to your local stores. I'll cover it. But see, I don't own a food company and I don't get to make those decisions. Lizard people actually make those decisions. And they're like, no, fuck that. We're not paying that. Just make the price of everything go up. The slaves, they'll cover the cost. They always do. They don't have a choice. They don't grow their own food. They don't have their own livestock. They have no fucking choice but to go to the grocery store and pay. Because we're pay pigs. That's what we do. We pay for everything. The war that's going on, yeah, we pay for that. Epstein Island, yeah, we paid for that. We pay for all that shit. We literally pay for everything. The banks in 2009 mismanaging, giving out predatory loans. No one motherfuckers can afford those mortgages, but they gave them out anyways. And when they had to go bankrupt, who bailed them out? Yeah, we did. We bailed them out. Instead of like normal people, like if I ran my business wrong, because I do own a business, if I ran it wrong, taxpayers going to bail me out? No. I'm going to have to sell my house and sell the cars and lose everything and file bankruptcy and never get anything on credit ever again. That's what happens to the slaves. But not them. Not them. They got the slaves backing them. Don't worry, big banks. We got you. Big Mike says, oh shit, I never got it. Let's see, what did you say? I was just saying a couple months ago I was feeling the strain. Now with a new car and other bullshit, I'm really feeling it. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's nonstop. Like the squeeze, it just never ends. It's just the squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. And it's like, how much more can we fucking take of this? And then this guy, oh yeah, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. Again, because the elite, they don't feel. They don't feel none of the effects of their decisions. They make these decisions, and it affects us. It doesn't affect them. Most of these fucking assholes, and not just Trump, but all of them, again, Republican and Democrat, I don't see party lines on this show. I don't. They're all scumbags, all of them. They're all demonic, Satan-worshiping scumbags who only care about themselves and what they get to stuff in their coffers. I can't say it enough. The FDA and all these oversight things, the shit that they let slide through. Spraying in the skies, aluminum and barium and what? Why? Who allowed that? Somebody had, with a two ounces of common sense, would have said, well, what's the effect of that? I mean, isn't that aluminum going to trickle down? And the people are going to breathe it. There's going to be some health concerns, yeah? Oh, yeah. I mean, they're going to get cancers and be sick all the time, and dementia setting in on men in their 50s, and oh yeah, it's going to be fucked up. Well, you can't. We can't allow that. And they're like, oh no? No, you can't? Yeah, again, back up the Brinks truck. Beep, beep. Piles and piles and millions of dollars for you to look the other way. And all of a sudden they're like, huh, yeah, okay. You know what? What chemtrails? They're not even real. What are chemtrails, you conspiracy theorist? What the fuck is a chemtrail? Same thing with Big Pharma. Big Pharma pushing drugs way too soon. They go to the FDA for approval. What's up, Create? Good evening. Thank you for joining. Here comes Big Pharma. Sitting down with the FDA. Yeah, we got this new drug. It's supposed to fix like IBS. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. A lot of people are suffering from IBS from all the shit we put in their food. So, yeah, they're going to have irritable bowels. What's the pill do? Oh, yeah, I mean, it subdues that. They don't suffer from the IBS anymore. Cool. Side effects? What happened? Yeah, there's a number of side effects. I mean, we've had a couple die. Some went blind. Some wanted to kill themselves for some reason. It was the weirdest thing. A lot of people get sick, and then we have to give them like 3 or 4 other pills. And again, you would think the FDA would be like, whoa, you cannot put that on market. Are you crazy? You need to take that shit back to the lab and work out all those kinks. But a big giant duffel bag full of money. And all of a sudden, nope, go ahead, let it go. Put it on the market. We'll have doctors writing scripts left and right. As a matter of fact, the pharmaceutical companies will give doctors bonuses for signing enough or writing a certain amount of a quota, if you will, of the prescriptions to patients. So they're incentivized to push the drug. You fucks. Give it to the fucking slaves. Let's see. Yeah, fluoride in the toothpaste. Yeah, it's good for teeth and bones. That's what the FDA says, you fucking motherfuckers. It's a neurotoxin. Let's see. Plus, my daughter, who just started driving, got rear-ended. Hey, Jesus. She's okay, and the car could be fixed, but fuck. Yeah, just more expenses, right? Out of left field. Thank God she's okay, man. There are some idiot fucking drivers out there. Let me tell you a quick story. So I drive a lot for what I do to pay my bills. And I think I told you guys last show, right? I almost got hit head on. I had to drive in the grass and in the ditch off the road to get away. And I was so mad that I started to, you know what I said out loud? I'm ashamed. I said, you know what? I get it now. Now I know why they want 85% of us dead. Fucking do it. Just do it already. Just rip the Band-Aid off. You're doing it all slow and slow poisoning and slow killing us. Just rip the Band-Aid off. There are some dumb motherfuckers out there these days. Sorry, Big Mike, to hear about your daughter. I'm glad she's okay. Yeah, it was another young girl in her school. Both kids are good, though, okay? Don't get me started on women drivers, godly. I can go on a rant on that, too. The head-on collision that almost killed me the other day, woman driver. It happened so fast I didn't get to peek in there, but I saw the long blonde hair. I'll bet you she was doing this. I'll bet you $1,000 if I knew. If I knew. So yeah, don't worry, the slaves, they got it, the slaves. And you know, we got some more things going on. Mike, I will never forget that. That's the downturn. Okay? That was the big arc in the country's fucking story. Okay? Don't get me started on the voting. Next up for us slaves, what's coming next?
Classified that about a month ago.
This one's going to be a long-winded, but I want you guys to really listen to this. Okay? I swear I wish it wasn't true. I wish it wasn't. But here's where we're at. I'll give a quick summation and then I'll let Alex explain. Which, by the way, a big day today. Today is the last day of InfoWars. That's it. The Onion's going to take over, and despite any appeals in the courts, Texas judges ruled against the appeals, and the Onion is going to be taking over InfoWars. So that's it. Alex Jones on the air for like 35 years or something. InfoWars down on some bullshit. That was an absolute antitrust bullshit. A violation of his First Amendment to sue him for $1 billion and bankrupt his company. But he's going to start. He's already started. He's got a network ready to go tomorrow. The Alex Jones Network. But these ticks, have you guys heard this? Because now the thing that they've been pushing on us forever is global warming. Global warming. Global warming's bullshit. Just throwing it out there. Okay? The earth itself ebbs and flows. Ice ages, hot ages. Ice ages, hot ages. That's what it does. The earth is like a living organism. It's a living thing. And it ebbs and it flows. There were times when the Antarcticas are land masses. There are land masses underneath all that ice. But it freezes and it melts, and it freezes and it melts. What they saw an opportunity to do is, while the earth is in a transition, was the same message as it always is. You motherfuckers are the problem. You're the reason the earth is warming up. You're the problem. You caused this. So now the government, we need to step in and fix this. Carbon tax you to death. And now, cows. Cows are also causing, and the people who eat the cows are causing global warming. The methane in their farts. But most people won't know, methane is actually is an advantageous chemical you want in the air because it actually strengthens our atmosphere. But most people don't know that, but they'll tell you, methane, no, it's a problem. It's ruining the fucking atmosphere. So you assholes need to stop eating it. What did Bill Gates try to push on us? Crickets, remember this? 2-3 years ago? They had some stupid CNN or MSNBC reporters. This is delicious crickets. You wouldn't even know. Tastes just like meat. Number one, that probably wasn't what they were eating because they're not the slaves. We are. It was probably actually a real burger they were eating and just saying that it was the cricket one, and it ain't. Now, because humans won't stop eating beef, because I won't stop, Wedge won't stop, Big Mike's not going to stop, nobody in this fucking chat's going to quit eating steak. I had steak for dinner. So they bioengineer a tick. The tick that carries Lyme disease, they bioengineered this to carry a pathogen that when you get bit by this tick, you will become deathly allergic to beef. And Alex shows, he's got the receipts. He shows the snivy little fucker sitting up on a stage talking about it. So I'm going to run the clip a little bit. We'll pause. We'll add. I'll take some of your comments as this is going on. But I wish this was fake. I really do. But this is the levels of depravity these fucks are into. They want us dead by come hell or high water. They want us dead. They treat us like we're garbage. And this is the constant bombardment that we're under. High prices. Again, squeezing us. The stress of month-to-month bills. When's the war going to end? It's never going to fucking end. That's the thing. Oh, yeah, it'll come down when the war's over. Okay. Yeah, we know these things to end quickly, right? Not. And then now beef. Now you're not allowed to enjoy beef. That's next. Create. There are cycles that are 11,000 years. It's just too big for us to see in the full. Yeah, problem, reaction, solution. Yes, sir. You see it. Create knows. Create's on top of this. A lot of you guys in here, you guys have been knowing. I knew I was helping with my gas. Now tell my wife. That's on you. No. I was a vegetarian for 2 years. I still eat meat. Hey, come back, okay? You came back. You know what was good for you. Protein. It's like part of our digestive system and a part of how like our muscles and our growth to stay in the peak physical condition. It needs protein. That's the way the Anunnaki engineered us. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, create. Run that shit. Yeah, let's go. As soon as I get to Mike's. I love vegetables. But you need, yes! No, you can't take nothing away from vegetables now because I love me some vegetables and they bring something to the table. No pun intended. But they go on the side of a steak. Okay, some asparagus, some broccoli, some potatoes, some carrots, all that. Good shit. And they bring something to the table. They also give you essential vitamins and minerals. But you can't just cut out fucking protein from our diets, and they're going to force it out of our fucking diets. These fucking lizard people. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's bring this up. My boy Alex, R.I.P. Infowars.
We already knew decades ago and told you that. And they've added to it a beef allergy, another red meat allergy, so that if you get bitten by the tick, you become deathly ill or even die if you ever eat beef again. And then we have the WF and UN 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, saying we're going to add this to ticks, and that way nobody can eat beef.
People eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then they would it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah,
See, on a lie. He just like really quickly sweeps that underneath. It's a lie. A lie that's been disproven, mind you, but he's still pumping it. If humans stop eating meat, that'll actually help the planet. How? Make that make sense. It doesn't even fucking make sense. But he just quickly kind of just breezes through it, and now he's going to get to the meat and potatoes of their fucking agenda here. Again, no pun intended with the meat and potatoes.
some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too.
There you go. And there's another thing. Now he's going to attack your character, remember? Because it's your fucking fault that the earth is like this. You slaves, this is your fault. You guys don't get to make decisions at all from day-to-day life. But somehow I'm going to twist this up that this is your fucking fault. With the state that we're in right now, it's because of you. Because you won't stop eating steak. Because you have no willpower. Oh, see, they have no willpower. Because they won't let go of the meat. They won't stop eating it. Let me back it up, this snivy fuck.
Consumption on meat, then it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy. I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So,
Okay, so then here comes the hypocrisy, because the fuckhead says afterwards, I'm one of those. So when you guys are dying from eating beef because the tick bit you, this cocksucker is going to be in his kitchen, eating the finest fucking steak. Because it's okay if he does it. It's the slaves. It's us slaves. We're not allowed to eat the steak. Okay, but he can. Because he's helping with the bioengineering of the ticks. So it's okay when he does it. As long as we get the message, okay? Are we getting the message, folks? This is not Republican. This is not Democrat. Okay? This is humans versus some kind of fucking alien demons. Create. The Messiah's going to show up and fix it all. So I'm just going to eat these Funyuns. That's right. He's going to snap his fingers and everybody's going to be fit. All the fat's going to be right off their bodies. and he's going to usher in a one world currency. I like how he says he's a meter, like he's one of us. Yeah. No, because he will continue to be, Big Mike. He will continue to be a meat eater. But us will be dying in the hospital because we fucked around and ate a steak. Create a weakness? I don't have $30 for a ribeye. That's why I don't eat the steak. Well, they're trying to do that too. They'll just price meat right out of our budget. Sorry, you can't have meat this week, kids. It's ramen again. Because if the ticks don't get you, their price gouging will.
But so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance.
It's called lactose intolerant, retard. I have milk intolerance. Yeah, which is another thing that kind of comes up out of nowhere. Oh, peanut allergies. That's one's my favorite. You know, humans been on Earth for thousands and thousands of years, and then all of a sudden, in the last 30, 40 years, there's peanut allergies. Jesus, man.
And some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
And then right on time, Pfizer seeks to
How about that? The bioengineering. That's a word you want to hear thrown around. Bioengineering. Yeah, that's totally, please. If there's one thing we don't have enough in this world, it's bioengineering. Oh my Jiminy Christmas. Let's see, create. Just so you know, I get bit by ticks hundreds of times a year. I have them every year here on my land in Missouri. But you don't have the Lone Star tick yet. Wait, let's let Alex cook more. Coming to an area near you. Create. Coming soon to an area near you.
Lyme's vaccine as states face worst tick season ever. Increase in alpha-gal syndrome meat. How many years ago did I tell you? Decades ago, alpha-gal syndrome is coming. Told you 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. Did dozens of shows the last few years saying, watch, it's spreading everywhere. Ticks are showing up thousands of miles of where they were because they're being dropped out. Turns out the CIA developed this at Plum Island. I'll show you the news articles. They took the Nazi scientists at Plum Island off New York after World War II, weaponized syphilis, called it Lyme's disease, put it into ticks. Now they've added this other pathogen with it, and the syphilis is the carrier for the alpha-gal syndrome. What foods can trigger reactions? Beef, pork, lamb, venison.
Yeah, all the good meats. All the good meats.
As Lyme's, that was known decades ago. It's now been fully declassified a month ago. Deer swam from Plum Island, they said by accident, that had the ticks and put it on the mainland decades ago. No, they're spreading these things. They're releasing these things. There's even Bill Gates projects studying them and releasing them in the wild, just like he does the mosquitoes. We have it all here, okay? You want the full...
Yeah, again, with Bill Gates. I'm telling you, there's not a cookie jar you won't catch his hand in. He's a shitty software developer. That's what he is. But he knows he's a virologist. He gets in the vaccines. He loves inoculating third world countries. I played the clip, right, a couple shows ago. I'll do it. I'll show this clip every show if I need to. You saw him at the World Health Organization conference where he said when they were rolling out the COVID vaccines, if the vaccine did what they were intending it to do, they could lower the world population by 15%. He literally says that word for word. Okay? Then he tries to get us into eating crickets. He wants us to eat bugs. That's why he's bought up so much farmland. He's bought up millions of acres of farmland in the United States and has done nothing with the land because he wants us to stop eating meat. He wants us to eat bugs. And then what do cows give us? Cows give us more than just meat. They give us milk that you can make butter and cheese with. So say goodbye to all that too. Then he's making the artificial butter too. Did you see this? This was like less than a year ago. Artificial butter. So he's into, like, again, bioengineering all these foods and meats. It's Bill Gates. I don't understand how he's not, like, on trial or in handcuffs. Oh, because he's part of it? He's part of the big cabal? Because he's been to Epstein Island a bazillion times and he plays ball? That's why? Oh, okay. No, I got it. I get it. That's what we do. We connect dots on this show. We connect dots. We decode. That's why the name of the show's Decoded. Because we're going to, like, watch all these news stories and just find all the inconsistencies, all the bullshit, the same names. You see them over and over again. Let's see. I haven't had the red ring show up around the bite, but it's just a way of life here. You just don't want that tick on you for days. You got to check yourself. We got to have to raise our own meat or something. Yeah. I honestly feel like it's all happening for a reason, and it's sink or swim. We need to get away from that life of shopping for everything. Yeah. Stop depending on their systems. Like, start to detach yourself any which way possible. Detach yourself from their systems. Because, yeah, if at any time, and this is kind of terrifying a little bit, at any time they want to shut off the food, they can shut it off. They'll stop fucking shipping food to stores at any time. And where are you at right now? Are you prepared? Do you have a bunch of water? Do you have canned vegetables? Do you have storable foods? Do you have anything? No. Most, I would say 90-something% of people don't. They got whatever's in their pantry and whatever's in their fridge, and that'll take 5 days to finish, and now you're fucked. It's a terrible position to be at their fucking mercy. We got to start developing systems to just our own systems, like Create was saying. Have our own, start a chicken coop. Build a little chicken coop, go to your local farm store and buy some chicks. Put them in there. Start collecting eggs. Them motherfuckers lay eggs. You won't be able to keep up eating the eggs. But then this whole tick thing, we're going to keep watching it, but this whole tick thing changes the game. I had a plan, folks. I was working and developing a plan of breaking out of this shit, because it's my contention that we're not voting our way out of this. It's not happening. The pendulum keeps swinging. Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. It doesn't matter. That draconian lizard hand grips ever tighter and tighter and tighter and doesn't stop. It doesn't stop because they're the same motherfucker. It doesn't matter. It's theater. They play a role. They tell the people, hey, you're going to have this set of ideas, and then the other party, you're going to have the opposite ideas, and we're just going to watch the people kill each other and fight over whose slave master's better. It'll be hilarious. Meanwhile, we'll be diddling kids and eating the finest lobsters and jerky and grape soda and all those fucking terrible things. We're going to keep doing that. And we're going to make sure they hate each other because that guy's black and that guy's Mexican and that guy's too white and that guy's this, and it has worked to a T. But my plan was to just stop participating, right? I was like, stop participating. Don't go to work. I know this is going to sound really foreign, but you're not going to go to work anymore. When everybody can agree, yeah, we're done. We want to break away from this. Well, then you have to stop participating in their system. They're dependent on us. They can't run the fucking system if they don't have our money and us to do the things that they need to do to keep the fucking machine going. So if we all just stopped, what are they gonna evict us all from our houses? They're gonna 330 million families. They're gonna do this in one fell swoop. They're not gonna have the manpower to do it. They're not gonna be able to do it. But we have to be self-sufficient to do it. And nobody's self-sufficient. But the grandiose ideas, everybody is, right? That's my fantasy world. Everybody, yep, we take about 2 or 3 years to prepare because you're going to need to grow, you're going to need to can, you're going to need to do all these things. Well, if they unleash these ticks and you can't eat protein anymore and you got bit by a tick, Well, then we're all going to start dying and not knowing why, other than, I remember on Ezra's show, he showed that Alex Jones clip. I must have got bit by a tick and the steak killed me. And start the process of having a relationship with our food, our water, etc. That's it. A symbiotic relationship. You grow nice, healthy plants. They bear you fruit and vegetables and nourish you, as long as you keep nourishing them. Isn't that margarine fake butter? Yeah, but that's not like Bill Gates' fake butter, Wedge. Not like his. But I bet if we did a quick Google search, we'd find out that that margarine fake butter shit probably also kills you. There's got to be a dark side. There's got to be a punishment for using fake butter. I'm sure there is. Because they're weaponizing food, weaponizing anything that we get from society. That's all they do. I mean, it is a constant weaponization of every single thing. Again, I love my question. Just give me one example. And I want you guys to think. Poke holes in my shit. Just don't be in an echo chamber. Don't be yes men. Tell me one. Just give me one. And I'll accept it. I'll go, okay, there's one. Give me one fucking example. The government gets involved in something and they made it better. One. Just one. God damn it, just one. Give me one example. The government gets involved in something and they made the situation better. Create. I have water. I don't have the rest. Yeah. I've got nothing. I've got one case of water right now. If the shit were to collapse tomorrow, ooh, I'd be in it. I'd be in a real pickle. Did you guys see that Bill Maher, David Cross interview? Ew, no, I wouldn't dare. And what a shame. I used to love David Cross, but he turned out to be a rotten, disgusting human being. My goodness. We are the ones we've been waiting for. This is our purpose, to wake up and build this. I feel that from time to time. I really do. But I question my own sanity at the same time. I still try to use logic as much as I can. And I do think that of like, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to like plant as many seeds as possible to get people to kind of wake up and go, hey, wait a minute, like wake them up out of the spell that they're under and be like, look, can you not see? They're not human. Can you not see this? Can you not see it? I want you to see it. And then I want you to get mad. And then I want you to do something about it. But then I'm like, I don't know, man. I got a wife and kids. Like if I was a single guy, I would fucking full charge on into this. But I worry about them. But if I start growing and we're sufficient and I could feed them, if society collapses, then I'll feel much better. But I'm doing the show. Here I am. I mean, you know, if something ever happens to me, I want you all to think twice about it. Don't go, wow, that just sucks. Something happened to Ezra and he's gone. I want you to immediately go, something happened to him. Okay, this is not coincidence. Okay, that wasn't just some lady driving in his lane on a backcountry road. That wasn't just some randomness. I think Create said it. She got activated. MK Ultra. Like, Ezra's starting to talk too much. I know his channel's tiny, but we don't need him blowing up into some big thing. So let's just nip it in the bud right now. Thank God I'm an alert driver. The Revolutionary War was very based. It was necessary. And you think about it, too. That's what the country was birthed on. I mean, Manifest Destiny was something different. Kind of mixed feelings about that. There had to have been a better way. Not sure. But at the end of the day, tell the jolly old king of England to go cram it. Stick it up your ass, king or queen. I agree with you in not participating. That's like the only way. Okay, that's like the only logical thing. Because you're not going to fight. You're just not. We're going to lose. Yes, we have our firearms and we have that kind of stuff, but we don't have the firepower that they do. It's going to have to be something totally like, I don't know, nonviolent. It's a simple just letting go. Go ahead, shut the lights off. Go ahead, turn our cell phones off. Fine. We're willing to do. We're going to go back in time about 40 years, 50 years. That's okay. The infrastructure's there, so at any point we can go back to it once we get the right people into place, or even at all. But just stop participating, damn it. That's the only thing, because it's not violent. We're not going to fight you. We're just choosing to be done with you and walk away. There's nowhere else we can go. There's no new countries we can sail off to and get away and start a whole new thing. We're all out of land. Every land has been claimed now. The United States was the final frontier. So there's nowhere else to go. So the next thing is just like, yeah, no, we're done. Not paying taxes anymore. How are you not going to pay taxes? Oh, because I'm not going to work. Because they'll just take taxes right out of my paycheck. They don't even ask permission. They just take it. So I'm not going to work anymore. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to tend to my garden. I'm going to feed my livestock. I'm going to fish. I'm going to hunt. I'm going to cook my meals. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to teach my kids how to hunt and how to clean an animal and math and things that they'll need to know. I'm going to raise my kids. The government's not going to raise my kids anymore, because that hasn't worked out too well either. You guys are rolling tonight. You guys are rolling. But we still have needs and wants. The priorities would be water, food, shelter, land. Yeah, that's it. That's what I mean. We'd go back in time. It'd be that. The creature comforts would be gone. No more AC. No more heat in the winters. You're going to have a wood-burning fireplace or something, or a fire outside where you can warm up out there. And we would adapt. We're humans, damn it. We've been around thousands of years. We can adapt. We know what we're doing. Live whatever life you want. Just create these basic things or share the responsibility with some others. And that's vital. That's part of the plan as well. It's not just, well, we're going to stop participating and that's it. No, it's going to be like small little tribes, like little communities. Hell, you might even want to have that shit up because, like I said, because again, I've thought about this ad nauseum. It's going to take like 2, 3, 4 years to have everything set up for that day where we go, that's it, we're walking away, because everybody needs time. Everybody needs time to get set up, and that's part of it. Move to where you want to move. You find your tribe, and hey, where do you guys want to meet up? We'll meet up in Wisconsin. Okay, cool. So we go up there, and everybody piles in, because it's going to break down to communities. And you're going to want people that you know you can count on and who you can trust. And so you can't, you can maybe do it with your neighbors in your subdivision, but you don't know how they're going to react when times get tough. You don't know. You haven't known them your whole life. And you haven't talked about these existential things. So you don't know where they're at. But we will be dependent on each other. Like, man, I'm so sick of eating these potatoes. Well, I'm fucking sick of eating carrots because that's all I got. Well, tell you what, I'll give you a bushel of my potatoes for a bushel of your carrots. You got it. We are what we pay attention to. And as soon as we just stop paying attention to the system and create our own independent systems, it's over. I believe so. Unless they unleash these fucking ticks we're not done talking about yet. My wife would be a miserable bitch, but I could live in the woods. Yeah. I mean, and it would be a phase, okay? She'd be a little cranky for like the first year. Okay, her first go around to see all 4 seasons and that you guys made it. And she was like, okay, you know what? My husband's got this. He chopped that firewood. I was warm all winter. I didn't miss a meal. You know what? Maybe she's going to find out that she ends up liking it. All right, let's get back to these ticks. I'm telling you, this gets better. This gets better.
Full spectrum analysis. Because most people just cover a piece of it, and that's bad enough. Big Pharma coming out with, Lone Star tick vaccines that have all these horrible side effects. But people are now dying who've been bit by the tick when they eat beef. And then we have the UN, the WF, and others in documents and reports going back 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And I've got the video clips and the reports on TV going, well, we can just give a tick now this particular pathogen through the Lone Star tick, and then we will give you a violent meat allergy so you can't eat beef. It's really bad with beef, but it's other red meats. But that's the main red meat people eat. Lamb, you name it. I mean, you're talking, and I know so many people that particularly work in ranching in Wisconsin, Texas, you name it, Tennessee, personally, who got bit by the Lone Star tick and now can't eat beef. I mean, this is sick. I'm telling you, in my hierarchy of stuff for fleshly pleasures, a perfectly cooked steak is right up there with the best piece of ass you can get. I'm sorry to be graphic. I mean, that's like that.
Amen, Alex. Amen, brother. It's right up there. He ain't lying.
Taking away women. I mean, this is just absolutely. These people are the most evil scum you can imagine. The Bible in Genesis talks about cows like 50 times. And how cows are the best and how wonderful they are and how God, you gave them the grass to have the cows and the cow's a gift to us. And, the Indian Hindus worship the things. I mean, you just give them grass and you get milk and you get cheese and you get butter and you get beef. I mean, it's just the Native Americans with the bison. It's just a wild.
It's almost as magical a creature as the pig. Hey-wee.
Old cow. Well, how did we take out the Native Americans, the Plains Indians? Well, we took out their meat supply. So I am uber sick of these people. But now
there you go, right there. On a science literacy project. Science, not ideology. However, the headline reads, Gates Foundation funds research to control cattle ticks through biotechnology. Yeah, no ideology behind that whatsoever. Just real science, folks. Trust the science. I am the science. Thank you, Dr. Fauci. Thank you. You are the science. Yes.
they've done it. They've launched it. I've been on air 32 years. But I was fascinated with globalists and transhumanism and the futurists and what they were planning since I was a little kid. My family was aware of it and always talking about it. So I was reading some Zbigniew Brzezinski books when I was 10 years old. And they would always, and even when he was a college professor of history, even Newt Gingrich wrote a book back in the late 80s where he said, we're going to genetically engineer humans and we're going to use high-tech vaccines to do it. Everybody will have microchips hooked into computers. So Gingrich acts like a good guy and says a lot of good things, but he's definitely one of them. And
oh yeah, so hold on, right here we got create. Meat is fine. However, overconsumption or addiction to red meat, well, male-dominant society doesn't need more red meat. Let's tone it down. Get down from there. So like anything in life, moderation, of course. You don't want to overdo anything in life. Everything in moderation. So I get what you're saying, create. Let's tone it down. Because right, you don't want steak every night. You got to mix it up. You do steak once a week, twice a week. You mix it up with chicken or fish or shellfish, and always with a nice healthy sides of vegetables. Oh, and Pfizer has a new when don't they? They're going to have one for this meat pathogen allergy. They're going to have one. You best believe. They'll have 2 versions of it. They'll have one for the slaves, and they'll have one for the lizard people. Because God forbid, if they're out doing something in nature and they get bit by the tick, they need to be able to fix that. They can't eat jerky exclusively, like Epstein. They can't exclusively eat jerky. They're going to need a steak here and there. And they're going to need a vaccine that actually works. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Don't ever get Lyme disease, sir. They're like, we've got the vaccine. It's from Pfizer. Just hold still. No! Fuck it. No! I'll be paralyzed. I'll live my life, the rest of my life in a wheelchair. I'm fine. Just leave it. Leave it. Do not give me that fucking vaccine, you evil bastards.
So I've known about their theoretical plans for a long time. But we're not in theoretical plans now. Just last week, the Netherlands is set to pass a law to make human clones legal, and because 2 men want to have a baby, so it won't really be a human, but we'll splice their genetics, and we'll also put animal genes in if it helps. Human-animal hybrids. I mean, it's like passing laws to do it. Of course, they've already done it in laboratories. So we are so far into the future, it's just not evenly distributed, and people hear this stuff and it sounds crazy. I don't blame you not thinking it's true, but it is. So they've been obsessed with getting us off of beef.
Well, this is a huge one here. I like what you said here, Create. If you aren't all jacked up on meat, it's sugar. Huge. I'm guilty of energy drinks, and it's like I'm aware, and I'm still doing it. I need to swear off that stuff. It's hard. So the effects of sugar on the body. Our body already doesn't break down sugar very well as it is. Just regular sugar. Okay, the healthy, listen to me. The normal, regular, granulated sugar. Our bodies have a hard time breaking that down. The problem is all the processing that they've done on a lot of our foods, our pastas, our breads. When it says enriched, that is bad. When any of that shit says enriched, because what that means is it is loaded with concentrated sugars. So as your body breaks it down, that's what it's going to turn into. A form of sugar that's even harder for your body to break down. So you're going to store a lot of it as fat. You're diabetic. If you have diabetes, that stuff is super bad for you. Much like, and they do this with everything. High fructose corn syrup is another one. That is a highly, highly concentrated sugar. So it's so much sugar that, again, your body has a very hard time processing it and breaking it down. So it just stores it. And you could look on every fucking drink that you drink. It's in there. It's in ketchup. It's high fructose corn syrup. There's nothing. They don't put that shit in. And do you know, fun fact, welcome to Decoded. The United States is one of 2 countries in the world that allow high fructose corn syrup. All the other countries in the world don't allow it. Their Food and Drug Administration say no. But the United States, New Zealand, those are the 2 countries who allow it. Mexico doesn't even allow it. That's why their Coke products are so much better than ours, because it's made with cane sugar. Again, still, sugars are not good of any kind. Sugars are not good for the body. And your body does develop a dependency on it. Like, because you'll hear people who are cutting out all sugars from their diets. They have a hard time. It's like you're going to go through a withdrawal. Your body's going to be aching because it's not getting any sugar. Because if you just flat out cold turkey, no more sugar, that's why so many people can't do it. So many people I've known personally are like, yep, I'm cutting out sugars. That's it, no more sugars. They can't do it. It's probably just as hard to kick as heroin. So what sugar is to kids. It's cocaine. You give a little kid sugar, you just gave your kid cocaine. Ugh. And it's constant. Again, with the FDA. Our FDA ain't worth a shit. I don't know why we fund it even. They shouldn't even have it anymore. It's just there as a title. Food and Drug Administration. That makes us feel better, like our food's getting vetted. It ain't. Whoever comes in with a giant-ass duffel bag full of money gets to put their food on the shelves. They're not protecting us at all. Again, one of 2 countries in the entire world to allow high fructose corn syrup. Those very 2 same countries that I mentioned, us and New Zealand, are also the only 2 countries in the world who allow pharmaceutical commercials during commercial breaks during television shows. Other countries, nope. You're not advertising shit. Nope, but America and New Zealand, brought to you by Pfizer. NBA playoffs brought to you by Pfizer. NFL playoffs, Ozempic commercials. Create. Yeah, and when I came back from my trip so long ago where everyone was super food conscious, I come back home and bam, eating the shit again for another 20 years. That's the only choice we have. That's the thing. We don't have a choice. Here, you want a choice? Make your own bread. Make your own food. Make your own pasta. Make it from scratch. Everything you buy from the store, it's going to make you sick. And it ain't good for you. And it's funny, too, how they do this, too. This is how they definitely attack the slaves. The cheaper the food, the more poisoned it is. You want to eat a nice, clean, healthy diet, you're going to pay out of your ass to eat healthy. And I would still question it. Instead of looking at it like, oh, I'm going to eat a clean diet and it's poison-free, I would say you're going to pay out of your ass to eat a diet that's less poisoned. Unless, of course, you grow your own shit. If we don't have a choice, there's no other alternatives. We go to the stores that they put out there. Local markets where I live, because I live out in the country now, I probably wouldn't see this much growing up in Chicago. Or maybe I was too young to notice it, but where I live out in the country, there's farmers markets, so the local farmers can go buy their shit. Again, maybe less poison in it. They still have to spray their fields with pesticides, keep the bugs off their shit, so wash your plants real good. But if the plants have been absorbing pesticides from when they were little buds until they grow to full-grown strawberries or tomatoes or whatever, it's chock full of pesticides. But maybe just a wee bit cleaner than the general shit we get at grocery stores. I remember when the first high-definition commercials came out, like professionally done at the next level. Pfizer commercials. Yeah, depression and dick pills. Yeah, depression pills that make you want to think of deleting yourself more than you already do. That's the weirdest thing, that's a side effect of those medications. You go to see a doctor because you're super depressed and you're thinking about ending it all. Well, here, I'll give you this. But one of the side effects might be you might want to do it even more. What the fuck are you going to give it to me for? I'm already struggling with making it through one day at a time. Now you're going to give me a pill that may cause me to think about it more? Or maybe even act on it? Are you nuts? Yeah, good advice. Sound advice. But when you get the general theme, again, it's the patterns. Okay, it doesn't matter what avenue you go down. The end result is, oh yeah, no, you're going to get sick and you're going to die. That's the end game. That's what we're trying to do. And you're like, I got it. I got it now. All right, I want to finish up this tick thing. It's important that we finish this because I want everybody to be aware of this, and I want you to tell friends. or anybody who will entertain you for the 10 minutes you're going to tell them about this beef allergy and what Bill Gates and these other mad scientist lizard people are trying to do to us. Because then I want to get into a little bit more of the incident that happened at the presidential dinner. But let's finish up the ticks real quick.
For at least 70 years, the Club of Rome. There's a lot of reasons for that, but if you study the whole world, where cows are in Africa, Europe, Latin America, the U.S., most farming is sustained by cattle ranching with it. And cows are so magic, they just eat grass, and you get all this good stuff from them: milk, cheese, butter, beef. And if you can take cows away from people, which are doing in the Netherlands and Ireland and Sri Lanka, farming totally collapses. And that's what Bill Gates wants, to make you eat synthetic, fake meat grown from the tumors, called an immortal cell line of Henrietta Lacks, a dead black lady. You just throw a chunk of her tumor in. They've created hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds of her meat. And you just throw a chunk in with whatever you want. You throw a chunk of her tumors in with, say, duck cells, and you'll grow a gigantic vat in just a few weeks of duck cells, because it's a cancer cell, but it takes over and replicates that same cell. That's a dumb down way of saying it, but that's how it works. You can throw a chunk of her cells in, just a cup of it, in with salmon, and you'll grow a giant vat of fake salmon. But it's cancer cells you're eating. Wait till those don't all get killed by the acid in your stomach and guts and get into your colon. Get ready for some colon cancer, which is in the studies. So that's how insane this is. I can go on for 100 hours with just other little insane factoids. Like, all your cars have kill switches, and AI is watching you right now if you have a new car. Mainstream news, finally.
Big Mike shared this story with me with that one. Ford, but apparently a lot of these new smart cars, and just any modern car, it's got a kill switch in it that at any time they want to shut your shit off, they will. Will.
People finally listen. Sounded crazy when I warned you. So that's the plan. So
look there's the synthetic meat. This is the bioengineered meat, bioproduct. What the guy from Campbell's Soup, remember, he got caught like 2-3 months ago. He got caught on the hot mic talking shit about his own soup, Campbell's Soup. Don't eat Campbell's Soup. That's not real meat in there. That's bioproduct. Not real meat. Don't eat it.
About 15 years ago, the Club of Rome came out, and then about 8 years ago again, and then about 5 years ago, S. Matthew Lau.
Or the guy, did I show the footage? Remember a few months back we were on the show? The McDonald's CEO who was going to show everybody how delicious the big Arnie was. What the hell they call that sandwich? Something like that. And he didn't realize the camera was still rolling. Number one, when he took a bite, he took the tiniest bite, number one. And then when he thought they were done recording, he spat that shit out. He fucking got that shit right out of his mouth. Because he knows it ain't real. It's a bunch of filler. Because they get away with shit like that. Again, our Food and Drug Administration not doing their fucking job protecting the slaves. Milk chocolate, the shit you see at grocery stores, they're only allowed to put that on there because it ain't chocolate. But if they put 3% cocoa in it, then by law, they can put on their label milk chocolate. But brother and sisters, that is not milk chocolate. It is all kinds of fucking chemicals and filler and 3% cocoa. Don't even eat it. Unhealthy sugars, high fructose corn syrup, all that. It's the same thing that certain furniture manufacturers get to do. They get to sell, oh, it's leather. It ain't leather. It's a blend. It's a lot of polys in that. But they put just enough leather in that blend. Legally, by law, they're allowed to say it's leather. But it ain't. What do we got here? What if instead this huge fear ends up being a technology that prints out steaks and animals and don't need to be slaughtered anymore, and it's safe and healthy to eat? We would feed the world, yeah. Instead, we're feeding archons with the fear. Because that's what it is, too. It's a constant stress. That's what the media does. That's their apparatus. That's their department to keep people in a constant state of stress and fear. Keeps humans constantly producing cortisol, which is also an unhealthy hormone to be having run through your body the whole time, because that will also store fats and attack your what's that gland called? Your thyroid. Yeah. But yes, they could if that were possible, we'd be able to. Starvation across the globe would never be a thing ever again. Not that our evils don't exist and people aren't in the way of controlling this. Oh yeah, they're in the way, Jerry. They're in the way. All right, come on, we're almost done.
Of the World Economic Forum, this professor came out and said, we can put in a tick a disease where you'll be given an autoimmune response to beef and you'll never be able to eat beef again. Beef are bad because cows fart, that hurts the earth, which isn't true. You know, the AI can have all the water and all the energy in the nuclear reactors at once, but you can't eat steak because you're bad. You pass gas, you pass methane, cows pass methane. That's what holds the atmosphere in. That's good. Methane's part of the atmosphere. But they're teaching you you're bad, carbon-based life's bad, silicon's good.
Yeah, that's exactly that's always been my feeling of that. That's what gets me so pissed. Because every time they create some fucking problem, they twist it and tell us that it's you. It's your fucking fault. It's like, bitch, I go to work every day. I don't do anything. I don't make any decisions what goes on in this world. But it's my fault? Yeah, it's your fucking fault. And now you're gonna have to pay. You slaves are gonna have to pay for this. One way or the other. And it's like, yeah, I don't think so. Such bullshit.
So he came out in a couple speeches 6 years ago and then again 5 years ago and said, we can give you this disease. Well, Bill Gates was already here and around the world open air testing ticks with Lyme's disease with this added pathogen to give you a beef allergy. And now the Lone Star tick is exploding everywhere. 60 Minutes is reporting on it. CNN's reporting on it. Oh, suddenly this new...
There it is, all his Beyond Meat. Here's the little thing. This video clip right here. This is him with the doing his butter. I remember watching this. There he is with CIA operative Anderson Cooper at 60 Minutes while he's talking to him about his fucking poison butter. I wish he would show that.
Thing born by the tick is beef allergies, and people are dying that eat beef after they're bitten by the tick. So Bill Gates is saying, hey, you're...
Just remember, this guy's been to Epstein Island so many fucking times. His wife divorced him because he wouldn't stop hanging around Jeffrey Epstein. He refused to stop hanging around him. There's the face. There's the face of the guy that we should trust. Yeah, because he's, the beef products that he's bioengineering for the better of the planet. And for you and for me. This monster, who will never be held accountable for anything that he's ever done, ever.
You're not going to put billions into fake lab-grown beef that doesn't have the allergies. It's not.
And there's a gay CIA operative. He was a CIA asset. This is a real thing. He just became a news anchor and thought he was smart. And he's gay.
Not really beef.
And figuratively and literally.
Boy, he sure knew what he was doing, didn't he? And then right on time, Pfizer seeks to introduce Lyme's vaccine as states face worst tick season ever. Increase in alpha-gal syndrome meat. How many years ago did I tell you? Decades ago, alpha-gal syndrome is coming. Told you 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. Did dozens of shows the last few years saying, watch, it's spreading everywhere. Ticks are showing up thousands of miles of where they were because they're being dropped out. Turns out the CIA developed this at Plum Island. I'll show you the news articles.
We got you, Alex. We hear you loud and clear, buddy. So it's been like 30 minutes. Nobody was able to give me one example where the government gets involved in something and they made it better? I thought you guys would have come up with something by now. You guys too, huh? Can't think of one thing? I can't think of one thing. Like, and I'm trying. I'm literally trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. I would say like the Bill of Rights, but that doesn't count because that was like the origin of the country giving us our Bill of Rights. So that doesn't count. Since that time, since that day in 1776, has the government got involved in anything and made the situation better? Anything. The Pell Grant? Let me marinate on that for a minute. Let me see. Let me make sure I know what a Pell Grant is. That's just like, I'm not going to say it's free money because it's not free money. Probably comes from taxpayers. So if you want to, I don't know, go back to school and you need help with buying the laptop or the books and the shit you need to attend your college classes, you can get a Pell Grant. But taxpayers, right? The government just doesn't print that money out of thin air. That comes from taxpayers. So that's almost a thing. But they tax us to death, and I'm not a huge fan of taxes. So the Pell Grant is kind of... I'm still marinating on it. I mean, even civil rights. Like I've watched enough. I've watched enough Thomas Sowell to learn how civil rights wasn't great, wasn't good. It didn't benefit the black community or minority community. They had their own thing. They were succeeding and they were doing so awesome. And then white liberals came out of nowhere and were like, nah, we need to get you integrated and do all these things. Be around the whites. Come on. It'll be great. And so they passed all these civil rights things, which, again, are good things. But it was the byproduct of what ended up happening afterwards, where they didn't shop at their own stores anymore. Their businesses went under. They stopped supporting each other's businesses. They stopped supporting each other. It was a whole, because they had their own thing. They had their own like ecosystem, their own economy, and they were booming. They were business owners. Couples were married forever and had kids, and it was a great thing. And then all of a sudden, the civil rights come around, and they had a very terrible decline after that. I'm not one to study and know much about that, but again, I've watched enough Thomas Sowell documentaries to see step by step what had happened, and it's kind of sad. Amanda, thank you. Welcome, Amanda. Most state schools were free until about the 60s. Pell Grant would be needed if they didn't stop funding higher education. Oh, wouldn't be needed. Sorry, I misread that. Pell Grant wouldn't be needed if they didn't stop funding higher education. So are you proving my point here? That nothing that the government's ever touched made things better? Most state schools were free. And by free, do you mean like taxpayers were paying it free? So you are... Yes. Come on. I need one thing. There has to be one thing they did that helped. There isn't. And it doesn't matter who the president was or what political affiliation they were a part of. It doesn't matter. Schools programming mainly came from Rockefeller intentional framing to train worker bees. Correct. That has also been proven. All school is for to teach the little ones to not ask questions and just push the buttons and pull the levers. Slaves, do that. Because if they really cared about our children, they would teach them things like tax codes, how compound interest works. You'd really prepare these kids for the real world. No, these kids come out of high school dumb as shit, don't know how to manage money, don't know the value of a dollar, doesn't know how the economy works, don't know how budgeting works, can't budget a fucking bank account, don't know tax codes. So what did you teach the kids? You taught them a bunch of shit they're not going to use for the rest of their life. I wish it was just a little more provoquial. I hope I'm using that word properly. A more focused schooling. You can do general through like 8th grade, but by the time you get to high school, you better pick a lane. What do you think you want? That's why they ask you. They used to when I was a kid. I don't know if they ask these kids anymore. Hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? What are you thinking? What might be your field? Maybe narrow it down to about 10 ideas, and then we'll start narrowing it down and focus your training on that. They don't. Wait, what do we got right here? Dude, Amazon and Boeing got over $14 billion in subsidies. They all get subsidies. Fucking Tesla, fucking Amazon, they all get subsidies. Don't pay a fucking nickel in taxes, but get fucking billions of taxpayer money for their big ass fucking business ventures. Bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. Check a box what job you want to do. Never showed us how to operate a cash register or change a tire or a light bulb or anything useful. Yeah, no. Hell no. They're not preparing you for the craziness that is the world. You go out there and you figure it out one hard lesson at a time. Okay, now, I played this last show, but I'm going to do this again because this wouldn't be decoded if we don't notice patterns, and we will not accept these little, it's a coincidence. Oh my goodness. So let me start off with this, because there's more to add after it. There's more to show after. But lordy, 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 let's not have the blinders on. Okay, this is why you come to the show. This is why you come here. So, let me start off the story. This is 2 hours before that dinner that they were having, the correspondent dinner. You know, it's supposed to be laughs and a good time, and there's comedians and the who's there, Republicans, Democrats. It's like a friar's roast for the oligarchs and us little seals at home watching. We could laugh. Well, anyways, Caroline Levitt. I'm not going to say anything anti-Semitic about her last name. She's a good Christian lady who just married an old Jewish man. Anyways, I digress. She's having an interview with somebody from Fox before the damn shindig. And here's what she says. 2 hours before the dinner. Just having a little shindig, folks. A little shindig.
Ready to rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
Did you? She said the thing before she wasn't supposed to say that because there's going to be shots fired later, and I just I don't want to do this anymore. The coincidence. Now I get it. When there's going to be some pretty harsh, lowbrow humor, punches in the balls, you would say, uh-oh, damn, shots fired, uh-oh. But you know what? The English language also provides like 50 other phrases for that as well. So she chose to say, there's going to be some shots fired in the room. Are we seeing any patterns yet? Is Ezra just doing his decoded thing? Am I just reading too much into this, Ezra? You need to you might need to talk to somebody, Ezra. You might need some help. Or am I just fucking tired of seeing how dumb they think we are? Because there's motives behind what happened that night. And we're going to get to that. And when you learn what those motives are and what they're really pushing for, they want to finish that fucking ballroom. But folks, it's more than a ballroom. It's called a ballroom, so most Americans who won't think more than 3 minutes about it will think dance floor, disco ball, people having fancy dinners and fancy dances. No. There's going to be a whole underground fucking operation in that wing of the White House. We're talking bomb shelter type shit. That's what the ballroom is. It's not a fucking dance floor, for Christ's sake. Because you will have some people, you believe this fucking arrogant dickhead wants to build a fucking ballroom? Let's just remember, too, that this is at the behest of Bibi Netanyahu, our king and ruler. You know, when people go out and celebrate no kings, they should be having pictures of Bibi Netanyahu. Is who they should be saying no kings to. Because our president doesn't call the shots anymore. I'm sorry. He is compromised currently. And can't. And correct, Romy. It's going to be the slaves who fund this. Yes. But he can't just do it. So that legally, he can't do it. It has to be approved by Congress. Most things he can executive order, but when you're messing with, and I forgot how somebody said this, the White House is an actual historical building that the president doesn't own. He doesn't have control over the White House. That's controlled by Congress. And Congress isn't letting him just spend the money to build the ballroom, but he's really pushing towards it. And this whole incident that happened plays a role in them pushing that ballroom thing. And we'll get to that in a minute. I just wanted to see if anybody else in the audience thought it was weird that Caroline Levitt said there were going to be shots fired. Does anybody else find that weird, or is that just me again with my damn tinfoil hat on? It's okay. I won't be offended. I have very thick skin, which is why I'm on the internet. If I had thin skin, I would not be doing this. Yeah, they let him tear it down because I think he just fucking started it. I think he just started to tear it down, thinking that he could. And they were like, hey, whoa, hey, what are you doing there? Because I think what did he really just knock down? The Rose Garden that Obama put in? Let me ask that really quick, actually. If any of you guys know the answer to that, answer. But I think that's kind of what it was. Yeah. I think it was the East Wing. And that's what I think. I think he just fucking started doing it. And they were like, oh, hey, whoa, time out. You can't just, what are you doing? You can't just start fucking tearing that shit down. I don't care. It was just a rose garden that Obama built, and we all know, fuck Barry. She says, I'm bad at directions. Wow. So ChatGPT is going to do me dirty like this, huh? So let me read what let me read you what ChatGPT says. He didn't demolish any part of the White House. There's no verified record of Donald Trump tearing down or authorizing demolition of White House structures. The building is a protected historical site, and any physical changes go through strict review involving preservation authorities, not something a president can just decide to tear down. What did happen during his presidency was routine renovations and maintenance. So he changed out the HVAC system, he upgraded it. There were some repairs that were done and cosmetic updates. Some interior redesign choices like furnishings, decor, the rose garden layout change, because that's what I understood it to be. He didn't tear down like structure, but he did tear down Barack Obama's rose garden. So, okay, so that's confirmed here. Ongoing modernization work that happens under every administration. Now, this is very unlike ChatGPT to do because I've asked a lot of, because I am conservative, and so I've asked a lot of conservative-leaning questions, and this motherfucker here talks so much shit to me, and that's what I'm like, you fucking lefty fucking ChatGPT bastard. But then here I am trying to throw Trump under the bus, and it's like, nope, he did nothing wrong. Nope, just changed out some AC ducts. That's it. He put in a 10-ton system. Like, fuck you, ChatGPT. Yeah, that's what I want to know, Amanda. I don't know. Google? No, because Google has Gemini. Should I ask? Will it even tell me? Let's see, Romy. Just like this war he started without Congress permission. I think past presidents have proved that this is not a thing. I don't know who changed the law. Some lawmakers changed it because you wouldn't be able to go to war without Congress's approval. But somebody changed it because fucking Bush did it. Obama did it. They all fucking did it. They all just started bombing with no approval from Congress. So at some point, somebody changed a rule overnight, maybe on a Sunday night after a football game when Americans were asleep and drunk and tired. They passed a bill because they like to do that. They'll pass bills late at night on an off day where nobody's paying attention. No, Elon's Grok. Elon's got Grok. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Who's your parents' company? Or who's your owner / parent company? Who owns ChatGPT? It's going to say terminating. Sam Altman? Okay, so it's owned by OpenAI. Yeah, CEO Sam Altman. How many times was he in the fucking Epstein files? I wonder. Let me go down these. Let's see. I have no idea. I really try to block Trump out. I tell you what, he's plucking nerves. And I think what he's doing, again, is he's like really alienating like his base. I mean, again, me having to be from the conservative side of the aisle, I didn't vote for him, but I mean, I'm rooting for him. I mean, fuck. I mean, that's not fair. I was rooting for Biden too. I just want the president to do good. I don't give a shit who he is. Just please do good and make our lives this much better. Please make our lives this much better. But none of them can and none of them will. But he's really dividing his base because the Epstein thing, that really pissed me off. That was it for me. When he goes on the TV and tells us like you're cowards or you're weak and then I don't want your support. Why, asshole? Because we want to know who the fuck was diddling kids and torturing them? Oh yeah, we're so weak. You're right. So all right, fuck you. You don't want my support? Boom. You won't have it then. How about that? And he's turned off a lot of his big fucking supporters. Then he's talked shit about Candace Owens and then talked shit about like anybody else who actually just holds him accountable. And then the fucking programming has worked on both sides of the aisle. Because if anybody in the audience right now is on conservative at all, or at least paid attention to the political spectrum at all, like that would be the whole thing you would say about like liberals. Oh, you're all fucking programmed. And be that as it may, I'm sure there's free-thinking liberals. There are. Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is one. I'm a huge fan of Jimmy Dore. He sounds like he's conservative, but he ain't. But the ideology of that side of the aisle has moved past beyond how far he wants to go. But then the same thing's happening on the right now. Now all of a sudden, you guys are fucking programmed zombies who will just clap your fucking fins no matter what this guy does. One fuck up after another. Just, you gotta trust him, bro. Gotta trust him. Since when? Since when are we trusting politicians? When do we do this? Oh, he's not a politician, bro. You know he's not. Yeah, no, yeah, he is. He is now. He is now. But okay, but ChatGPT gave me a very favorable answer for him, saying he didn't actually tear any structural things from the building. He just tore up the fucking rose garden. And any kind of any other construction that we saw getting done, he was upgrading the HVAC. But okay, we got Caroline Levitt. We heard her say shots fired. There's going to be shots fired. It's going to be a great time. Let's go to, speaking of Jimmy Dore, friend of the show. Now I wish he was friend of the show. Fellow Chicagoan Jimmy Dore is going to explain what the hell's going on here. Oops, wrong screen.
White House Correspondents' Dinner. This is what happened.
Shots fired just outside the White House Correspondents'.
Oh, I do also want to add, too. Hold on. Because I find this to be very peculiar as well. So, okay, she sets it up. There's going to be shots fired. We just heard in this little short video clip that I played, shots were fired. Okay. Do you know after the whole kerfuffle was over, they just kept right on going? They still held the event. It still went on, like as if nothing happened. You would think if that was a real threat and they didn't know that if there was going to be additional threats, I'm sorry, but the Correspondents' Dinner's canceled tonight. That's it. Nope. The oligarchy just went right on with the show. The show must go on, shooting or not. So again, I hate to be Mr. Conspiracy Theorist, but just very fucking odd. But okay, get back to Jimmy. Sorry.
Dinner spreading panic as President Trump, the First Lady, and top administration officials gathered with journalists for the annual event being held at the Washington Hilton Hotel. Secret Service agents stormed the stage to shield the president and vice president, while hundreds of guests took cover under tables.
They didn't exactly storm it. We'll get back to that.
They really didn't storm it. You know, they rushed J.D. Vance out. They could rush J.D. Vance out in a jiffy, but took their time getting to Trump. And Kash Patel also hid under a table and didn't do shit either. Director of the FBI. Just hid under a table.
In a second.
Inside the ballroom, surveillance video shows a suspect, 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen, attempt to run past a perimeter checkpoint before being stopped by law enforcement. Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche on Meet the Press this morning.
We believe that he was targeting administration officials in this attempted attack.
Officials say a Secret Service officer was shot at close range during a confrontation, but survived because of a protective vest. As authorities look into the suspect's background and motive, they say he came armed with multiple weapons. Investigators searched the suspect's Torrance home and recovered writings in his hotel room critical of Trump and his administration. President Trump was asked about the suspect's manifesto Sunday during a 60 Minutes interview.
I read a manifesto. He's radicalized. He was a Christian believer, and then he became an anti-Christian, and he had a lot of change. He's been going through a lot based on what he wrote.
There have been at least 2 prior attempts on Mr. Trump's life, leading to criticism of a possible security breach at such a high-profile event.
The system worked. We were safe. President Trump was safe. His Secret Service agents kept him safe.
It's clear to me that in his head, he probably realized he wasn't going to be able to get all the way into the secure ballroom.
Michael Matranga is a former Secret Service agent who has worked events at the Hilton before.
I don't necessarily consider a couple hundred yards or more extremely close to the president or to any of the protectees.
Neither do I.
It was clear to me that he knew that he was not going to be able to fulfill his mission, which is why he chose, the desperate attempt of trying to run past the checkpoints.
President Trump thanked federal law enforcement for their quick actions to keep everyone safe, saying he wasn't worried there would be any casualties or injuries. He says plans are in the works to reschedule the event now.
So you see what happens when you don't book a comedian to host the show? That's what happens. So there's, just to let you know, spoiler alert, this was a psyop. This was not real. I mean, that guy probably was there. That guy probably did pull the trigger. This was all engineered by the establishment. And I'll tell you exactly why they did it, coming up in just a second. But just to show you how lax the, yikes, Fox 5 caught on hot mic talking about the security at the correspondence dinner and how lax it was. You want to hear what they said here?
I love that they have like two random chicks holding the front door open. Where's the guys? We're not even trying anymore. It's not even like, I just mean like they're not even like Secret Service people. It's like the girls who work here are holding the door. Even if it was the guys, it wouldn't even make it better. It's like she's fucking just like they might as well put a doorstop in. Like, what the they put up a doorstop and a scarecrow. Don't fuck with this guy.
Here is retired.
Oops, was that a hot mic? I was just bashing women for fucking 20 seconds there. I hope my wife wasn't watching.
CIA analyst today talking about the what he thinks happened.
Thank you for the chance to chat. The story stinks to high heaven. Let me explain some of the issues, and let me emphasize this is not just my opinion. I've got a buddy who ran Reagan's security detail after Reagan was shot. Experienced Secret Service officer. He actually set up the training protocols that Secret Service is supposed to adhere to, which they are no longer following. Now, let me emphasize that. So the first thing that caught my eye, the first person that's taken off the stage. So you got gunfire outside of the ballroom. It's not inside the ballroom. The first person to be taken off stage was J.D. Vance. And I looked at it and go, what in God's name is going on?
And then it was almost 30 seconds later until they took the president off. So I'll show you that video. I think I have it coming up. But the first person they did take off with J.D. Vance, and they took him off like that. And then Trump was sitting there looking around for at least 15 seconds, possibly 30.
The protocol, the standard, the requirement is the president. Get the president. Everybody else can die. The president, that's who you save. That's what Secret Service is supposed to be trained to do. They didn't do that. They take off J.D. Vance. So you're going, okay, what's going on? Trump initially...
What's going on is that it's a psyop. That's what's going on. What's going on was this was engineered by the deep state or the Trump administration, the FBI, the CIA. This was engineered. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the reason why was Trump's ballroom was stopped by a judge. A judge did not, I don't know if you heard that story, said you can't do this without an act of Congress, or if there has to be an extreme security reason. So they just manufactured a security. This is the first time Trump goes to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And this happens, and they immediately, and Trump doesn't look flustered whatsoever. Nobody does. They go have this.
Nobody.
He's very calm at his press conference, and he's like, well, this is why we got to have the new ballroom. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, so spoiler alert.
I hope they do. I'm sure Jimmy's going to show that. When asked about that, well, this is why we got to have the new ballroom. What the fuck does the ballroom have to do with the Correspondents' Dinner and your security detail? But go ahead, let's spin it. Spin it for us one time.
That's exactly why. That's why this all happened. And MK Ultra, you think they stopped doing that? Again, there's another lone nut guy. Really? So this guy, one of the smartest.
So this is another thing that we're going to need to cover on a different show. We're going to finish this up. This story will take us to the end of the show. We might go over about 15, 20 minutes of the show tonight. But I'm going to cover MK Ultra. Well, I'm going to dedicate one whole show to it because you guys really got to know about that. It's a fucking real thing. and they can activate shooters at any time. It's the craziest thing, but it's a deep rabbit hole, but it definitely one worth kind of just listening to for a little bit.
This guy's in the world. He went to Caltech. He's teacher of the year, all that stuff. Never committed a crime in his life. All of a sudden, he's going to go do an assassination. He realizes he can't get in. He's not going to even get close. So he decides to shoot some Secret Service people. That doesn't make any sense. Unless they MK Ultra'd him. Again, do you think they stopped that program? Really? You think they stopped weather modification because they signed a treaty in 1970 that said they wouldn't do it?
You know, everybody else is ducking behind tables. He's sitting there calmly looking around like,
that's right.
Did he know this was going to happen?
Uh-huh.
Was this staged? I believe it was staged.
There you go.
Again, why else would I preface the story with his press secretary saying there will be shots fired? Again, there's 50 other ways you could say that about harsh, lowbrow jokes. You could say there's going to be a lot of low blows in there. You could use low blows. You could have said there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. You could say there's going to be a lot of lowbrow humor. No, she chose to say shots fired. There was going to be shots fired. Just saying. This is how stupid they think we are. The fluoride in the water has worked that well. So they think. Not on all of us. It hasn't worked on all of us.
We'll get into that. The second thing is the failure of the security perimeter, that it was not properly set up. So the way this should be done is you have a perimeter outside the hotel, okay? So you set the first layer that nobody gets past that first layer unless they have a right to be in that hotel. They can show that they're a guest or that they got an invitation. Otherwise, nobody gets.
Here's another guy. This is retired Lieutenant Colonel Tony Aguilar, who's been on this show. And he concurs that this was a psyop and a setup.
I agree with Larry in that not only does it stink to high heaven, it was entirely bizarre and what is akin to a high school play. When you look at who was present, the administration, Trump had his cast of clowns and his cabinet of idiocracies all convened at the Washington Hilton. What's ironic is that the Secret Service has a very robust security plan for that specific hotel, because if we all recall, in March of 1981, that's where the same hotel that Ronald Reagan was shot in. That's why it's called the Hilton Hinckley, because of John Hinckley that fired those shots. So,
oh, not another coincidence, not another dot to connect. Don't do that, folks. Don't do that, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Aguilar. Don't do that.
The fact that the security was so lackluster, unprofessional. The shooter was able to penetrate to the depth that he did with seemingly no objective, with a shotgun, a pistol, and a knife, unless he was Charlie Bronson or trying to reenact something from the from a bad B type action movie. This was the setup. This is another attempt for Donald Trump to bring attention during very low polling, and it brings a lot of question and a lot of scrutiny onto what actually happened in Butler. I think this shows another hand of that same.
Okay, so his theory is that it's because his polling's low. I don't think that's why they did it. But here, I'll tell you, a federal judge, U.S. District Judge Richard Leon, ruled in late March, so just a few weeks ago, he ruled that the construction of President Trump's planned $400 million White House ballroom must be halted until Congress provides explicit statutory authorization. The exception is the initial order allowed work strictly necessary for safety and security. For example, underground bunker elements. In mid-April, Leon reiterated that the halt on above-ground ballroom construction, rejecting the administration's attempt to classify the entire project as a national security matter to bypass the ruling. So when they went to the press conference, I'm going to show you that in a second, but that's the first. Everybody's tweeting out like crazy. Hey, this is why we need the ballroom. This is why we need the ballroom. This is why we need. And we all know now that just like they had the K-Hive when Kamala Harris was running for president, they have the same right-wing media, independent media people taking orders from the White House and repeating it. We've showed you that happen over with the Candace Owens thing, with TPUSA. Now with this, and so this is my thinking. We'll be right back with more of this story after a brief message from our sponsor.
No, Jimmy.
She
no
was
sponsors.
the world's oldest. They found out daily. Today, JD Vance, let's watch how fast they get him out of there. This guy says, this is very interesting and weird from last night. JD Vance was escorted out before Donald Trump. Then Donald Trump falls down as he's getting escorted out. So let's watch. So JD Vance is out in about, I don't know, 3 seconds. Is that even 3 seconds? Let's go. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4. He's gone. Trump is still sitting there. Let's watch. Trump is still there. He's still there.
I don't know if he'll show this on this because I didn't watch the whole clip. But somebody I saw on Twitter had pointed out somebody's sitting at the dining, like in the dining area, eating his food. Somebody's still there eating their plate of food. Okay, so probably somebody in the know. Somebody who was on the inside who knew. Was like, this fucking steak is delicious. I'm going to keep eating it while I still can before I get bit by a tick.
Then he falls down. So JD Vance, I think his secret service is different than Trump's detail. So maybe they didn't get the memo that this was all fake. That's what it looks like. It looks like they didn't get the memo. So let's see how long it took him. So he's out. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 13,000, 14,000, 15,000, 16,000, 17,000, 18. So about 20 seconds. About 20 seconds, which is a lifetime when there's an assassination happening.
Sure.
That's amazing. How much longer it took them to get Trump out of there than it took to get JD Vance out of there. But let's watch this. This guy put this together. It was pretty good. And we'll go through it.
Check this out.
Quickly tell you, I was sitting next to Caroline Levitt, the press secretary's husband. He was seated right next to me, and then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV, you do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some...
And then they cut her off. So she's calling into Fox News Live on her phone, and she starts to say something they don't want to be said, and they cut her off, and then they make a BS excuse, and the excuse was, when a lot of people are using their cell in the same place, it overloads the system, and that happens. If it was 2003, it's 2026. That doesn't happen. So I'll play it again. Listen how they...
Check this out.
Quickly tell you, I was sitting next to Caroline Levitt, the press secretary's husband. He was seated right next to me, and then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV, you do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some...
There are some what? I guess we'll never know. Now, she later said, no, it was nothing. I don't know what happened. And so, of course, she's going to say that. But... So that's again, another weird coinky dink, isn't it? Here we go. We'll keep going. There's more from this guy.
They cut her phone off. They stopped her from talking live on air. And this is the person who allegedly did this. Now, what's absolutely wild, that this random account, Henry Martinez, joined X on December 2023 and tweeted out one name, Cole, on December 21st, 2023.
Isn't that weird? And that's the only tweet that they ever made. And watch this.
The motive.
And I will say, it's not a particularly secure building. I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof. It's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service. That's why the military are demanding it.
The White.
So there you go. So that was the whole point of this. That's the whole reason Trump has never showed up at a White House Correspondents' Dinner. He shows up, and immediately there's a pretend assassination attempt by some guy, lone nut, who's been MK Ultra. Didn't even get... Why would he start shooting if he knows he can't get into the ballroom, which he knew? And as those guys say, was 100 yards away from getting in or something like that. Why? So if he wanted to kill the president, why would he just start shooting random security people? Which is what he did. They say one guy got shot in the chest and he had a bulletproof vest on and he's okay. Why would that also doesn't make sense. If his big idea was I want to kill the president because I'm a crazy lefty, and then he realizes he can't, why would he just start killing random people? That's not what that's not logical at all. So now watch this. Watch what he dug up. So Trump had replaced the architects for this ballroom, and guess who replaced them with?
House East Wing Ballroom project, where Donald Trump fired the McCreary architects and replaced them with Shalom Baroness Associates. This ballroom, the one that has the blueprint that looks exactly like Solomon's temple.
Oh, this is where shit gets real crazy. This is where it gets crazy because, yeah, I heard Kurt Metzger talk about this a few days ago. But yeah, apparently the design of the ballroom is going to match the schematics of, the Temple of Solomon, the famous one that Solomon built a temple for God in the Old Testament. Here we go. And the name of the construction company, Shalom. Here we go. Here we fucking go. But here it is, folks. Jesus.
And what does Shalom Baroness Associates have experience with? Doing multiple synagogue renovations, renovating temples. And you remember America Reads the Bible 2026, a historic call to return to God's word that literally finished today, where Donald Trump read the Bible. And he specifically read 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verses 11 through 22. So what does 2 Chronicles chapter 7 deal with? The dedication of the temple, where the Lord appears to Solomon after Solomon finished building the temple, and the Lord gave him a vision, saying, when I shut up the heavens so that there is no rain, or command the locusts to devour the land, or send plagues among my people, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sins. This is what Donald Trump read. And so is this a play to get the third temple built?
So multiple effery.
The Jews are about to sacrifice the second red heifer. So that's about to happen too. So again, they're just trying to usher in the Antichrist, essentially. And it's all happening right before our eyes and behind the guises of some security breach at a dinner. Let's continue before I get too lost in the weeds.
And yes, I wish Kurt was here because I'm sure he would have a lot to say about this. But yes, there you go. Hey, here's a question. How did those first two temples work out? That's my question.
Oh.
And now so if you want to know what's happening, that's what's happening. It could be dual or triple purposes. It could be that. The thing is, they definitely wanted to get this ballroom built. And I'm sure it's being pushed. And it makes sense what he just said, that if it's being pushed by Israel, Trump's going to try to do everything he can to make it happen, because he's obviously compromised by Israel. Now, whether he's in the Epstein files or his kids are in the Epstein files or his wife, they have him somehow they have him. Obviously. And so that would make sense.
Yeah, they have him in all of our Congress. I walked down the chronological order on past shows before. You can follow it. It's not that hard to connect the dots when it comes to that one. Because don't forget, Trump ran on releasing the files. He ran. It was one of his things. Drill, baby, drill. The Epstein files. No new wars. He was going to end that genocide in Palestine. He was going to end that, remember? He was also going to end Ukraine and Russia. Yeah, that's still going on. So he didn't do anything that he said he was going to do at all. But so the Epstein files being the important thing here, this is the point I'm making. He's going to release them. Bibi comes over. Bibi flies over, pays a visit to the White House. Now all of a sudden we're not going to get the files. Actually, it turned from Pam Bondi saying there were 20,000 files on her desk to there's nothing. After she had said previously that not only there were 20,000 files on her desk, there were videos and pictures of child solicitation and child abuse and the whole thing. She said all this, and then later comes out, there's nothing. There's nothing on my desk. It's nothing. And then that just went away. at that very same time, Israel was wanting us to bomb Iran, which I think for a second Trump was like, I'm not doing that. I mean, I told my voters no new wars. And then Bibi said, oh yeah? So you're not going to bomb Iran? Cool. Release the files. Release them now. And they blacked out all the names, but we got all the files and we got to read the horrific things that are going on, that have went on. We just don't know who it was because all the names are blacked out. And then Bibi tells Trump the next step is we're taking those black lines. We're taking the redactions off. Then they'll know the names now. Okay, you got it. You got it. Bomb Iran. And next thing you know, we're bombing Iran. Nonstop. Now we're fighting over the fucking Strait of Hormuz because this is what Israel wanted. This is part of the greater Israel project that we're going to spearhead because all of our fucking politicians can't stop diddling children. That's what it boils down to. And they're all fucking held by their fucking short and curlies because Israel, that whole Epstein Island thing was an Israeli honeypot operation to compromise all the world leaders, all of our Congress, and everybody. So yeah, now Israel wants a fucking replica of the Temple of Solomon at our White House. At our White House. Paid by us, of course. Taxpayers always pay for their own demise. The slaves. Us slaves always fund our demise. They don't use their money. They use ours against us. Sorry, baby rant over. Brr.
Why would he fire that architecture team? Why would they hire that one to build temples? Of course, he's completely controlled by Israel. Completely. The whole war is because of Israel. And, he's still funding a genocide. The whole deal. So the judge stopped the construction of the ballroom. And here we are. Except the only thing you do is if it's for security purposes. So here you go. And now let's see. So that's it. You got it? You live in one big psyop. And of course, we've been now other people are starting to question Butler, Pennsylvania. We've been questioning it ever since we found out that Donald Trump shut down that investigation. We've been questioning it since it started. The cops saying, yeah, we saw him, a guy with a backpack and a scope inside restricted area. We saw him 3 times, but then he disappeared. What? What do you mean he disappeared? Don't you lock down everything? There's a guy somewhere in restricted area with a scope and a backpack, and we don't start the event until we find that guy? Or make sure he's not here? Which they didn't. They did nothing. And then and nobody's watching the roofs. People in the crowd saw crooks on the roof, but the cops didn't see him. The local police, the sheriff, the county police, the Secret Service, nobody saw him. They had guys.
They had snipers on a roof. The Secret Service had snipers on a roof and didn't see the kid 300 yards away on the other roof. Okay.
Secret Service on the tops of other buildings. They weren't looking at the tops of the other, but of course not. Just like with Charlie Kirk, nobody's watching the roof. So, of course, we've been questioning it ever since then, since it's happened, but we've been doubly questioning if Donald Trump was in on it because he shut down the investigation. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to know who did it. So now now Donald Trump, in my mind, definitely in on the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting. That was a psyop. Just like this was a psyop. Were they able to MK Ultra somebody to do it? Yes, and that's the problem they had with Tyler Robinson. He was MK Ultra'd to go and do a suicide by cop, but he didn't. And he turned himself in, and it screwed up their plan, which is why they had to change the text messages. They had to do all kinds of stuff. And now they're like, how are we going to do this? So,
because that's true. Crooks got his head blown off at Butler, Pennsylvania. They blew that kid's head off. And that's what probably was supposed to happen to Tyler Robinson, but it didn't. So now they had to scramble and change the whole fucking story and change everything up. Why in the fuck else would Bibi come out? I've said this before. It was very suspicious and peculiar. Not even 24 hours after Charlie Kirk, what happened to him, happened, Bibi Netanyahu takes to the national stage and goes, "We had nothing to do with it." Yeah, and nobody even was even thinking that you had something to do with it till now. Now you open your big fat mouth. Now all of a sudden I think you had something to do with it. Nobody even said Israel. Why would you come out and preemptively be like, "Hey, we had nothing to do with Charlie"? Charlie was a friend. And they use that term a lot. Just like mobsters. Just like mobsters. He was a friend. He was a dear friend. He was like a brother. But he had to go. The boss said he had to go. So he had to go. All right, I'm going to let Jimmy finish up here. It's only a couple seconds left.
That's what happened. Come see me May 23rd in Atlanta.
And that's it. That's what happened. He finished. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We're just connecting dots. You guys get to marinate on this stuff, and you come up with your own conclusions. I won't tell you. I mean, I could share. That's why I do it on the show. I share what I think. I don't expect you to think what I think. I want you to marinate on it and come up with your own conclusion. The hell's this going on? What's this all about? We are part of some big-ass psyop. It's theater. But I've been saying this for the whole year I started this damn loud horsing off, and then as of recently decoded. It's all theater. It's all this is. It's political theater. It's no different than WWF. They have roles. They have scripts. They have roles that they play, and then because us little slaves are so feeble-minded, we pick a team, just like in sports. People who vote Democrat, that's their team. They're the Patriots, and they're diehard Patriots fans, and fuck everybody else. And then, conservatives pick the Bears, and we're Bears fans, whether we're losers or we're winners. We buy the merch, we go out and vote, we fucking do the whole thing, and then when we play, it's a whole thing, and all these little slaves fight amongst ourselves. Meanwhile, they're laughing it up. They're eating the finest steaks. They're backroom trading deals. They're getting paid off by big banks and big pharma and big food and big agro and big oil and all the big conglomerates who really control the world get to do whatever they want without any repercussions. And even when they start getting into dark, sinister things, torturing children to extract adrenochrome, the rabbit hole gets really dark. You go to really dark corners and go, oh my God, these people were into this type of stuff. And some people like Alex Jones have been talking about it for 20 years, but not until the release of those Epstein files do you get to read for yourself the things that were going on. And go, holy shit, Alex was right. He's been talking about this for 20 years. And then you actually read about the sick, disgusting, vile things that they were doing. You're like, oh shit. Then you get filled with so much anger where you're like, I want to know whose name is that? Whose name is under this redaction? As Americans, we have the fucking right to know who this is. Nope, you ain't ever going to get them. You ain't never going to know. That was a threat. That was playing cards. They're playing poker. And Trump is bluffing, and Israel's like, we got the ace right here, bitch. We're holding the ace right here. So you just go ahead and keep bluffing. So they got him. They got him. They have all our politicians, too. They are never going to give us those names because they'd have to arrest everybody in Hollywood. They would have to arrest fucking Bill Gates. They'd have to arrest every banker, at least the Schwabs and the big names, the robber barons and the Morgans and I can keep going. But then our politicians too, because they were there. They're on lists. They're on flight logs. They're on film. They're in pictures. And when you got blackmail that bad on somebody, you could have them do whatever you want. Look, we're bombing Iran. Iran was not a threat. They could say these fuckers were going to have nukes in 2 weeks. They've been saying it for 20 years. Now all of a sudden we're going? Yeah, because fucking Bibi, the king, told our president, yeah, guess what? You're bombing Iran now. Okay, you got it. You got it. And it doesn't matter that our inflation's going to go sky high. They were supposed to lower interest rates. They're not. They put a pause. And then they actually said that be prepared because they're going to raise the interest rates. Gas is still going up. That was at the top of the show. That was the first thing I covered. All the magtards, they were like, you got to trust them, bro. See? Gas came down 20 cents. No, it didn't. It went up $1. And then it went down 20 cents. So we're still, again, at a differential of 80 cents. So no trust him, bro. Sorry. Ezra's brain doesn't think like that. I might be, again, like I said, I'm conservative. I'm right-leaning, but I'm not brainless. I can call balls and strikes as I see them. I'm not just going to root for my team blindly like I do my beloved Bears. I had to twist my mind in a pretzel to make sure I liked this draft that we just did. But I won't do that for our politicians. Nope. Because that's just a game. Football's just a game. Laws and taxes and finances and inflation, all that's real. That's real life shit. So I'm going to call balls and strikes. You're either going to do good and I'll applaud you. Like I said, when Biden was president, I wanted the fucker to do good. Because he's the president. Our economy matters to every American, no matter what team you vote for. So you want the president to do good. But he didn't. The poor guy was senile and dying of Alzheimer's. And like I said, for a split second, I felt bad for him. Because that's elder abuse. What they did to Joe Biden was elder abuse. But then I remembered Ashley Biden's diary, and she was talking being 13 to 16 years old. For those years, this fucker climbs in the shower with her naked. Okay, you know what? Fuck him, actually. I hope that Alzheimer's eats his asshole out. Rots his asshole. That's what I hope happens to him. Because he's a monster. Who the fuck climbs in the shower with their teenage daughter? Naked. And this was out of her diary. So it's not like it was made up by somebody. This was in her fucking diary. So there's that. But yeah. And that's what they do. Tribalism. They set it up. The psyop is to have us so divided. And then it's funny because once they have us divided 50-50 politically, then they can go into each of those bases and start dividing that shit up. Which was what has happened to the Conservative Party. Because you do have a large portion of the conservatives who were like, no, we want the names on that Epstein file. And Trump goes, what? We're still talking about that loser? Really? We're still worried about this loser. I'll tell you what, you guys not letting that go, you're weak, you're cowards, and you know what? I don't want your support. Oh, so then whoop, divide your base. There you go. If you still believe in the two-party system, Republicans are going to get killed in the midterms. Killed. But it doesn't matter to me. I don't even have a dog in the fight. They're both the same dog. Doesn't matter. But if you still believe in the two-party system and the voting and all this, yeah, Republicans are going to get wrecked in these midterms. It's not even going to be close. They're going to get destroyed. And then all the tactics that Trump set precedent for, I said this back when he was doing this shit. The Gestapo tactics to kick all the illegals out. You just set a bar, buddy. You just set a bar. And then when they go back into power, you set the precedent. Now what's happening? We'll see. But yeah, but good show tonight, man. We ran through these 2 hours fast. Good stuff, too. We covered really good topics. You guys were amazing. Amanda, thank you for participating tonight and showing up. I appreciate it. I mean that. Yeah, our football is the war and violence we crave. It's a great outlet. If we didn't have our games to focus this energy, bro, look out. Be like the cigarette delivery stop. Yeah. And that's what it is. That's like, to think back to Roman times, football is modern day gladiators. And when the Romans didn't have it so well with certain emperors, because maybe they didn't run it as good. Some emperors were good to the people, but some of the other ones, like, what was his face? God, I don't know, his name's eluding me. He was the son of God damn it, now their name's eluding me because I just want to make this point. They'd give them gladiator games to shut them up. So hard times, economy sucks, not be able to afford food too much, go to a fucking gladiator match and clap your hands and yeah, totally distract you from the fact that the emperor's fucking you all over. Marcus Aurelius, all right, that was the good emperor. And his son, who wasn't emperor for very long, sucked. But that's what he did to kind of compensate for him being a shitty leader. He gave him the gladiator games for like 80 days straight. Let's see. Create the ebb and the flow, the yin and the yang. Both sides of the same coin. And the system is corrupt. Nature is innocent. We are the ones fucking it up. Yeah. I have a rule about that. It doesn't speak. I shouldn't say I have a rule. I read it in some new age spiritual thing years and years ago. It's innocent because it doesn't speak. It just is. It is just being. That's it. And in that state, you're innocent. Yeah, humans. Humans in our nature. Watch every Democrat and Republican states gerrymander after the rigged Supreme Court ruling. Yep, it just is. That's it. But yeah, wow, what an exciting night. I could have kept going and going, but I know it's getting late. Everybody's got work. I have work in the morning. But again, appreciate you guys coming out. Again, big shout out to Amanda. She's a newcomer to the show. Appreciate her showing up and contributing. It was awesome. You're welcome anytime. But you guys have a great night. Be safe. And let's see, what do we got coming up? Friday, tomorrow. What's up on my slot tomorrow? I'm just gaming on 8-Bit Ezra channel. Link down below. If you want to see me play old retro games, down in the description below is the link for 8-Bit Ezra. Go over there, subscribe, and watch me play games like 2K5 with updated rosters, Tecmo Super Bowl with updated rosters. I really want to finish up the Simpsons Hit and Run. I got 2 more episodes to do of that, which is probably what we'll be doing tomorrow, but Everything Bear Show Sunday morning. Oh, and then I'm back for another Decoded Saturday night. So we're going to run this back. I tell you what, if you guys are in the Discord, which I'm going to put as a pinned comment after the show's over, come join the Discord. If there's anything you want me to cover or talk about and you want to hear me rant, drop it in the Discord. And then I will bring it up on Saturday night. But you guys, thank you so much for coming out. Have a great night. Until next time, peace.